What do you guys think this ring would mean for, Jayson Tatum? And I'm gonna throw that to Branford first.
Dude, there's nothing like the first. Like, I mean, he's trying to get in that conversation. Right now, he's just a good scorer. It's like, Giannis before he got his ring, he's a good player. You might call him a superstar. He's an all-star. But until you're a champion, you're just a good player. People can't even talk about, like, I mean, I think LeBron got the most like leeway. Like, people were putting him in that category before he won it. But also the fact that he grew up in the Celtics organization and did it with the team that, drafted him. Like, that's huge. It'll be huge for Boston. It'll be huge for him. And watching it with Malachi, you mentioned that he's younger than us. We're not that old, but he's still a young kid. And to take home an NBA championship like that and he is the leader. He, like Byron said, he is most likely going to get the MVP if they win. And so establishing that at that age would be huge. It would mean volumes for his legacy. And, if you start early, it's easier to rack him up, He might be one that's also collecting, 3 or 4, come another decade or so. But I think it would be huge for his legacy and huge to set up the rest of his career.
You, Byron?
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like he saw Giannis do it, and he's like, "Yeah, no, that's my goal." Because I mean, it's basically it's possible. So it wouldn't make sense that he wouldn't want to do that, especially like, so young in his career, right where he got drafted from. Like this, like Boston might have a riot. They might just riot if they win the game, and he won like his first ring and stuff. But yeah, I think he's definitely gunning for that. Like he sees this as something that can really define his career, and like it's like he's not going to go into like the major discussions and major talks, but I think he can definitely use this as a great way to just excel his career going in through. Like he can really be more and more talked about. Like we could like possibly just see like in the next coming years after a championship win, like what else does he have to bring? And there'll be a lot more eyes on him because of that.
Malachi, you?
Yeah, I mean, we've all said a lot of the stuff that, I mean, winning a ring is what they play the game for. Like it's what you go out there and try to do for 82 games, set yourself up to come in the playoffs and win a ring. I feel like even if he doesn't get a ring, Jayson Tatum is already a champion on the potato chip scene. I don't know if you guys have had his Jayson Tatum ruffles, but they're just elite business. I mean, they're so good. I get 10 bags when I see them at the grocery store because they sell out so quick. People they're running out like toilet paper at the start of quarantine. I'm just saying.
StockX Jayson Tatum chips.
I just have to shout out those chips. They're so good. But no, for real. Like, first of all, he's a Celtic. Like the Celtics are a historic franchise. Like one of the greatest franchises ever. If in 3 years the Celtics and the Lakers win a championship, that's just good for the NBA. I think that also what's interesting about it is that in 3 years, the Lakers and Celtics win a championship. Like, obviously Kobe was a Laker. They won the year that he passed. And then now just 2 years later, like one of his proteges is in the championship leading a team. I think that, he's a two-way player. He tries to model his game after Kobe. And so I feel like that's also cool to see. I think that he's probably thinking about the Kobe part of it, like, and doing it for that. And then I think obviously the chip gives you personal legacy. Like they released the top 25 under 25 this year, and Luka was rated above Jayson Tatum. And I love Luka. I was one of the only people like in my whole friend group at Howard talking about the Mavericks just stole Luka from the Hawks. Like he is going to be one of those guys. I've been a huge Luka fan. I mean, he was an MVP before he was an MVP in a grown man's league at 18. Like, so I'm not saying that Luka's not great, but Jayson Tatum is a two-way player who can drop 35 on you and really defend your best player. He's one of the only players who block KD consistently. Like that's a real feat. And so I feel like because he's on a better team and they don't ask him to drop 35 and just hold the ball in his hand the entire game and run the offense entirely through him, that he gets like some low points or whatever. But I think he's underrated as a playmaker, and he's way better on defense. And I like my players well-rounded, and the chip is just going to solidify that for him. And every Hall of Fame player's case is started with a chip, I feel. So not every single one, but a chip definitely puts you in that conversation, especially so young.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I agree with every point that all you guys mentioned as well, too, to be honest with you. I think we definitely view him differently if he wins a finals MVP and wins a championship as well, too, especially at this age with all the adversity that they've kind of, been through these past couple of years as well, too. I don't know where you guys rank him, top 10, top 15. He definitely should be top 10. Some people may want to argue top 5 as well, too. Like I said, if you're going through that offensive juggernaut in the Brooklyn Nets with KD and Kyrie, you go through the former champions. To be the champ, you got to beat the champ. They did that. And then to go up against a gritty, well-coached number 1 seed with the Heat and then finish it off with this dynasty that's revamped in the Warriors. I mean, how many people's task or road to success, road to the finals, how many people can kind of say that as well, too? Because we know back in the day, like, no knock on Bron, the East was a cakewalk as well, too. And it's finally being more competitive than it is before. So that would be a huge milestone that also proves, I mean, it's kind of also proven now, but just solidifies he can be the best player on a championship team with the right pieces around him. And last and foremost, I think by seeing this, I think these high-level role players, once Hal Horford's contract is kind of up X, Y, Z, these high-level role players, I feel like Boston's going to be a marquee destination for players who want to come to be a part of this organization, especially playing with Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum as well, too. So this would mean a lot for Jayson Tatum as well.